Hi friends, let's take a look at Link. By the way, did I mention as well that it's a weekend coming up and it's the start of a new month and all the rest of it in any of the other videos? I don't think I did. Well, it's the weekend. It's coming up now here, Friday, and it's the start of a new month. So let's take a look at Link together and see how we could be going on, I suppose. Where did we come in on the monthly time frame on this one? You know, let's looking at it. We know from sort of experience. Hide all the drawings here. We know from our experience that we came up and put in some big highs up there, and then we've retraced quite a ways back down the way. But just looking at the monthly time frame, this is the Bitcoin pairing, of course, Link versus Bitcoin. That's a positive asset right there. Likewise with the dollar one. So you know, if you want to be broad term, people often ask me, you know, what your broad term, longer term opinions about things like this, you know, and whatever else. Well, just you know, this is looks good. Okay, that's my broad long-term opinion about things. I don't really see much point in putting a bookend on it necessarily for people, because I mean what they're essentially asking is like, what is going to be, how can I catch the knife here at the very top of a movement from, which is 6 months. People asking the question know that there's no realistic actual proper answer for it. Not really. That doesn't come with a great degree of risk, so much so that the risk of believing in any of those is so high that you might as well be trading it anyway. These people ask a question know this. Anyway, that's the new month, whatever. We don't need to talk too much about it. It would have been the same if you're interested as well in terms of like the chat. The chat would all be the same, that we're putting in highs on the monthly. There's Ethereum's highs, you know, great. Here's Bitcoin's highs. Well, it's not compared to June 2019, but very much this last year of price action has been good in comparison to all of the months following June. You know, so since we've been doing better than we have for 13 months, is what kind of getting at there. As you can see as well, then over here, if we look at the spot prices, that we are actually higher than we have been since all the way back to February. Yeah, so the last month that was higher than this was January 2018. We all know what happened in December 2017. So looking at this at right where we are right now in terms of the monthly chart on just checking there that we're not actually in August and we're in July. I mean, I'm just look at the chart, but whatever. In terms of looking at the monthly chart here on this one, you can see that we're up so high, right? So if we were to pull back from this area by the end of today, for instance, it wouldn't be too much of a shock, you know, and we've got so much room left on the charts there. I really should have mentioned that during the Bitcoin video, didn't bother. So yeah, anyway, we've done a lot of this pullback here in terms of the Link story. Can we find our feet and move towards the top side? We've done very well in terms of coming up here. You know, if this did turn out to be a local high on the monthly and we came in and put a higher low, that could go anywhere down as far as, say, 37,000, and you'd have done it without any bearish divergence and stuff like that. That's very, very good. Going down towards the 2-day time frame there, you know, we've had this downward sloping trend. I want to see the RSI come back up to the bullish control zone, cross over its EMA and all the rest of it here. We've not done that yet, but we have had some support coming in at the neutral line. How will this pan out in the longer term picture? It's not quite clear yet. We haven't ticked back around in the stochastics or anything either quite yet, although we do see a slightest bit of divergence between the positive and negative DMI preventing a cross coming in there quite yet. The daily time frame is looking like what the 2-day time frame could go on to look like, as you always know, the way these things go. So we'd be looking the same sort of story, still looking for this to happen in and around the neutral line on the RSI, moving up towards the top side, ticked over here on the stochastics. That's good, coming back up towards the neutral line. If we move into this area, you know, targeting the median line here and looking up towards our next area, and can we put in higher highs and go up towards that 80,000 level or so? Looking down towards the lower time frames again still, and asking questions about things like, you know, starting to look for this divergence and stuff coming in here. This is a lower low than the previous low here. If you just want to look at this tiny little area on the RSI and the stochastics and the DMI, they're all slightly bullishly divergent, and we've had this little uptake, but we'd need to see the prices again going up towards that 81,000. The targets are going to remain the same really as we look down the time frames again. Still looking on with this one, you know, we had the divergence there. Now it's much clearer on the 4-hour time frame, so you can see all this coming together. I hope this helps you when you're doing it at home yourself, by the way. And looking up towards this next area where the 80,000, 81,000 area is going to be the clear next target. Moving beyond there, then I think becomes even more visible as to why the upper targets become far more achievable in and around that, and that 81,000 area might be an inflection zone. Looking at this movement towards the top side, we've done it largely without any divergence, so that's good so far. Cool story. Any different on the dollar pricing? Not really, although the number that you're looking at here really comes in a little bit closer at the sort of 80 cents area rather than sort of moving up from on the dollar on the Bitcoin pairing going all the way percentage. I'm trying to make a point about percentage here. So it'd be like, looking at a 20% rise in that one, whereas, just in terms of being positive about this, you can start getting positive more around about a 5% rise up in terms of this story, because we've been moving up past these previous highs that we've had here on this lower time frame. Let's see how this shakes out as we go up through the time frames, bearing in mind that everything else that I said along the way is the same as well, apart from that we didn't really come in with any bullish divergence on this 4-hour time frame. We didn't get any of the bullish divergence leading into this run up in the price. So the 12-hour time frame crossed over. Oh, I've got both of these guys on. I don't want them both on. Hold on a sec. Anyhow, I've probably had that through all the episodes without realizing. Yeah, so moving on up then towards that 80 cent area. This is like when Bitcoin was $10,000 and it was easy to match up the numbers. Now that Bitcoin's moved on up a bit higher, you can see why there's a bigger sort of push for the Bitcoin pricing to be able to do those targets than there would be for the dollar one to do it. And that's that divergence between the two charts that I was talking about. Should you see an increased upward movement I've been talking about it off and on over the last wee while. If you see an increased movement upwards in the price action on the sort of Bitcoin pairing relative, while the dollar pricing also goes up with link, so that to the point where it doesn't go up quite as fast as the Bitcoin pairing, as the Bitcoin to dollar pairing does, then what you would see is a disparity happen here, where this actually got in red candles on it and this got green candles on it as well. And those are the targets that you could be looking to. And obviously, but the sort of the real important one, I suppose, from the trading it in crypto lover perspective point of view, is of course the Bitcoin pairing, because during a trend and upward bullish market for Bitcoin, you want to see your assets moving up against Bitcoin so you can compound those sorts of gains if you like. And that's why maybe this is all a little bit more interesting for you from the Bitcoin perspective at the minute. Let me know though if you're actually still just trading this between the dollars and whatnot, in which case, the target for us has got to be that 85 cents area, then, or 85 cents, $8.50, and then we can absolutely stare down $10 and see if we can move on to those areas thereafter. If I just kind of go over to this chart as well to see if there's anything else that I want to point out. No, there's not. Not really. That's just what you have during all-time highs anyway. You're never going to get... I forgot for a second there, full honesty. I just for a split second forgot that there wasn't any sort of crazy wick or anything like that on there to look at. So just that's when we can start looking towards the $10 area, would be of course when we got past $8.50. But looking at how things rise up towards the top at that time, how we're doing in the Bitcoin land, and indeed, perhaps as well keeping an eye out for opportunities which may exist on this, which may inspire greater volatility without having had the underlying asset change too much in terms of its dollar pricing. Something to look out for. Hope that helps, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I've been Rocky Outcrop. Share this video with a friend. If you want to hit that join button, then I would massively appreciate it, and I really would. But if you feel like that's just too much, that's fine. And if you hit that subscribe button, then fantastic. And actually, to be completely honest with you, just tuning in here and seeing me say this now means that you've watched the whole video, and that in and of itself is amazing. That's just... I can't ask for any more than that. So catch you next time. Thanks so much. Rocky Outcrop here on YouTube. Tell your friends, tell the world, all that good stuff. See you next time. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got some value from it.